Okay, now we get to talk about the whites, which is always a pleasure because they don't talk about themselves. Have you ever been outside on a nice summer's day where there's a cool breeze? It's about 72 degrees. That's what it feels like to be with a white. Now, ironically, whites may describe themselves, as one did to me one time, as being in Tokyo and literally on fast racing trains, racing by them both directions, lots of anxiety, energy going on, and they remain in a calm space. White is driven by peace. They have a wonderful gift of clarity. They see things for what they are, often better than most other colors do. They are driven by logic versus emotion. So they don't personalize everything that happens to them. They listen with unbelievable aplomb. Their gift for hearing rather than judging and critiquing is remarkable. When you talk to a white, they may not say anything because they're just intrigued in what you have to say. They want to know what you're saying and why you feel that way. They don't have to insert their 2 cents every 5 seconds. That's not important for a white. Whites are very gentle beings. It's so funny for me, some of the great NFL players I've known that are white, they say there's just something about getting on that field and hitting other guys that I love. But I would never do that outside of the field. Never happened in a million years. So whites are not the kind of people who are ruthless or unkind. In fact, kindness is one of their greatest gifts. They really don't judge. Hard for other colors to believe. And it could be that non-judgmental. In the videotapes we show you of the different colors, you'll see a clip where Robin Williams does such a kind act. And that explains white to me. You can kind of watch them in the background. They never make it about themselves. They don't ask you to say thank you. They just do things that are kind and pleasant. White personalities, on the negative side, can be very stubborn. Like, honestly, if you want to get a white to do something they don't want to do, good luck. They are the most difficult person to motivate in the world. If they don't want to do it, it's not going to happen. And even when it's destructive to themselves, they'll stay in that pattern. And that's frustrating. They don't have the natural motivation instinct of the other colors. So they can be extremely passive even in their own lives, even to the point of self-destruction. Whites tend not to get their way in life other than being negatively stubborn. They're more than willing to give the opportunity to somebody else instead of taking it themselves. I don't think whites are fair to themselves. They're self-doubting. They never quite know how good they are. They're always thinking, well, I could have done this a little better. Well, that was okay, but... And they don't ever celebrate what's so wonderful about them. And that's hard, especially as a yellow. I like to be with them and enjoy them and celebrate them. And they'll often tell me, don't make a big deal out of it. I don't want my name talked about. I don't want my face in the papers. They tend to like the quiet, subdued route. And that's another gift I like about them, by the way. They're very humble about that. They're not needing to have accolades from the world to make them okay. But on the negative side, they are kind of critical of themselves and never quite sure they're good enough and measure up. Whites tend to stay to themselves. They're very independent. When they're working, for example, they don't like you looking over their shoulder. They would rather work on their own than with a group and get things done. They also, by the way, like to work against the fast, extreme tides of like business. Like when it's really busy, they would really rather be someplace else and working at their own pace, not being driven at the kind of pace. They're extremely competitive internally. They would never mock you. Like on the basketball floor, they would never put you down or bad talk you. They don't do that. They're not trash talkers. But at the same time, they're focusing always on what they can do to improve their shot or their game. And that's where whites excel. White personalities are by far the least understood of all the colors, and yet they bring an incredible strength and value to the color code and the field of humanity. I think about patience, for example. I would go on the freeways in Southern California, and they're always clogged. And my white daughter would say, Dad, why are you upset? You knew they were that way when you got on the freeway. And that's exactly right. And that's how whites see it. They just understand that perspective much better than most of the colors. And therefore, they don't tend to get as frustrated or angry as other colors do either. White. Think about it as silent noise. Think about it as a gentle breeze. Think about it as calm in the middle of crazy racing trains. White. So how did you like today's video? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What are your thoughts? We'd love to hear your comments. We'd love you to subscribe. We'll be uploading 2 to 3 times a week, so we'd like to be part of that with us. It would also like you to look at our website, taylorhartman.com. TAYLORHARTMAN.com. And we'd love you to stay current with us. Please ask your questions that you'd like me to respond to. Happy to do that. We're going to have a lot of fun together. Thanks for today.